while Emmy's mom sells snacks at a kiosk during the day and works in a warehouse at night to pay for her daughter's English lessons. The girl is looking for money to travel to a casting call in the city. In an attempt to raise the funds, she decides to play cards with a group of local boys. The stakes get high, but Emmy runs out of money, so she makes a bold promise. If she loses, she'll take off her clothes. Fired up, the boys raise the stakes. But Emmy had strong cards all along. It was just a bluff. With the winnings, she heads to the big city, only to fail miserably. Tearful, Emmy hides in the bathroom where she meets one of the contest's sponsors, Dimitro. He tries to console her, invites her to dinner, and introduces her to a beauty queen named Mariana. Seeing Emmy's admiration, Mariana tells her she could also be successful. Turns out Mariana's mother, Dorota, helps girls like Emmy earn some money by introducing them to wealthy men. Mariana also works, and look at how far she's come. She leaves Emmy a business card, and Dimitro suggests they go up to a hotel room right away. They head toward the elevator. Just then, Emmy's mom suddenly appears and drags her out. Mariana and Dorota try to convince the mother that it's just a beauty contest, that everything's respectable and Emmy has a bright future, but she's not having it. On the way back, Emmy waits for her mom to fall asleep on the bus, then gets off at the first stop and returns to Mariana, Dorota, and Dimitro. This is how her questionable journey into the escort world begins. Emmy learns quickly. Dorota is pleased, although she takes almost all of Emmy's earnings, since the girl lives with her rent-free. Years pass. Dorota, Mariana, Emmy, and Dimitro fly to Monte Carlo. During breakfast on the pier, Emmy notices a crowd of beautiful girls boarding a yacht, led by a man. Realizing they're likely also in the same line of work, she decides to get onto that party at any cost. Later, at a casino, Emmy spots the same man heading to the VIP room. She grabs Mariana, follows him in, and sits at the poker table. She bets all they have, and deliberately loses Mariana to the man. Sam, that's the man's name, clearly understands the stunt was staged just to get his attention. Dorota is furious that Emmy lost all their money. But the next morning, impressed by Emmy's determination, Sam offers her a job. His boss, a wealthy Arab, is hosting a party in Courchevel soon. Emmy is to find girls who will keep the guests company at the event. Emmy begins assembling her dream team. The last person she manages to recruit is Camilla, a waitress who doesn't fully understand where she's going. In fact, she's so unaware that her boyfriend even takes her all the way to the airport to see her off. But Emmy doesn't care. She genuinely believes that everyone has a price. You just have to know your worth. And so, this cheerful delegation arrives at the party. They're greeted by Prince Santino, his brother Bahir, and their friends. All the men are young and charming. Only then does Camilla start to realize why she's actually there. She panics. But Emmy tries to calm her down. After all, why live in poverty when you can live in luxury and enjoy the high life? People don't really judge. They're just jealous, because they want the same lifestyle, but are too afraid to go after it. Emmy uses this ultra-motivational speech to convince Camilla. At the party, Prince Santino chooses Camilla among all the girls, and of course he turns out to be polite, gentle, pleasant, and attentive. Everything seems perfectly above board. Sam is impressed with how Emmy handles the situation, but he no longer wants to deal with Dorota and Mariana, who annoy him. He tells Emmy that she's capable of handling things on her own. Soon Santino needs more girls for another party, this time on a yacht in Cannes. Only fresh faces allowed. No repeats. Back in Warsaw, Emmy attends a charity fashion show to recruit some new models. There, she meets the event organizer, Bartek. There's instant chemistry between them. Emmy tells him she runs her own modeling agency. She likes that Bartek is a normal, down-to-earth guy who has nothing to do with her real line of work. Bartek's family breeds horses. His parents don't like Emmy at all. But Bartek is in love, and he doesn't care what they think. Meanwhile, Camilla's boyfriend tries to pull her out of what he sees as a dark lifestyle, but she asks him to leave. He says, "Don't you know your own worth?" To which Camilla replies, "I've just realized how much I'm worth." Emmy informs Dorota and Mariana that she'll be attending the next party without them. Dorota is furious. "So this is how you repay me for all I've done?" They have a final falling out. Emmy takes Camilla and walks away. The team is now complete. Camilla decides to wear a wig and return to the party, hoping no one will recognize her. Sam is happy to see Emmy again and immediately invites her to dinner. She agrees, but everything is ruined when Bartek suddenly shows up, hoping to surprise her. Sam is disappointed, especially since he's developed feelings for Emmy. The yacht party begins, and so do the problems. First of all, It turns out one of the girls lied about her age. Another girl announces that she wants to go home. She was promised a job as a hostess, not participation in parties with wealthy guests. To make things worse, a frustrated and jealous Sam tells Emmy he can't take it anymore. He found out about Camilla and feels deceived. And finally, the last straw. When the girls return to the hotel, they discover that they've been robbed. Even worse, someone from the staff has called the police, so they have to flee immediately. Leads with Emmy for help, but Emmy replies that it's her own fault and advises her to find her own clients to pay off her debt. Camilla begs for at least her passport back, but Emmy silently walks away. Left alone, Camilla calls Dorota, who immediately finds her a new client. However, it turns out he has some very unusual preferences. Meanwhile, chaos breaks out on the yacht, almost like a scene from Game of Thrones. Emmy notices one of the girls getting a little too friendly with one of the guests and decides to step in. Bahir, annoyed that she's ruining the fun, asks, "How much are you worth?" Emmy, who has always said that everything in this world is for sale, responds, "You couldn't afford me even if you had all the money in the world." Suddenly, the man grabs her, and one of his friends holds Sam back. But Sam discreetly hands Emmy a wine bottle, and she smashes it over her attacker's head. Thankfully, at that moment, Santino shows up. Seeing what's happening, he condemns his brother's behavior and says he's acting dishonorably. Sam quickly whisks Emmy away to his cabin, and finally they're alone together. Because of course, after such stress, they just want a moment to themselves. Meanwhile, poor Camilla wanders along the shoreline trying to reach an acquaintance by phone, but the woman is busy and doesn't answer. As Sam heads to the shower, Emmy notices a familiar backpack sticking out of a drawer. She realizes it was Sam who robbed the hotel room. After the party, the girls leave the yacht. On the promenade, Emmy spots Bartek. In front of Sam, Bartek helps her into his car. He takes her to the beach and, in a romantic setting, proposes to her. At that same moment, overwhelmed by everything that has happened, Camilla walks into the sea. Years pass. Emmy has become a loving mother. She and Bartek are raising a daughter, and they've named her Camilla. It's clear that Emmy still carries guilt. One day, Emmy returns home to find Sam talking to Bartek about buying a horse. When Bartek steps away, she asks Sam why he's here. He tells her that there's going to be a huge party in Dubai and the prince wants her back in the game. He says he can see that she's not living her true life in Warsaw and that she deserves more. With a bitter smile, Emmy replies that it doesn't matter who we were. It matters who we've become. She refuses. Sam leaves. Soon after, Mariana and Dorota come to visit her. They've heard about Sam's offer and want in. They promise to recruit the girls themselves. Emmy refuses again. But not long after, Bartek receives an anonymous message, a video with Emmy in the leading role. After seeing it, he takes their daughter and leaves. To get her daughter back and start a new life in Canada, Emmy agrees to the offer. She gathers a new group of girls and brings them to the party. But when they arrive, she discovers that Santino is gone. And now everything is run by Bahir, who has become the new prince. He still remembers how Emmy once put him in his place. And all these years, he had been planning his revenge. It was he who hired Sam, and through Dorota, obtained that infamous tape from Dimitro in order to lure Emmy in. Realizing what's happening, Emmy tries to escape, but Bahir's guards catch up with her and bring her back. Emmy returns to Warsaw, only to be immediately arrested by the police. It turns out Camilla's ex-boyfriend had been tracking her this whole time, collecting evidence about her activities and passing it all to the authorities. A major article is published in the media about Emmy and the others involved. Dorota is arrested too, and all the girls are summoned to give testimony. Many say they never truly knew what the job would involve. They thought they were just going to a glamorous party. Some of them still see therapists to deal with the psychological trauma. Emmy herself says she just wanted to help girls escape poverty and hopelessness. But when a policewoman asks her, "Would you want someone to help your daughter the same way?" Emmy stays silent. In prison, the only one who visits her is her mother. She asks for forgiveness and tells her she loves her, just the way she is. Emmy is released after several years. She returns to her hometown and gets a job at a newspaper kiosk. She regrets everything, not being there for her mother when she passed, not answering Camilla's call, not telling Sam he was the father of her child, and not finishing that bedtime story for her daughter on their last night together, not getting the chance to explain that neither a prince nor money will make her happy. Because this isn't some fairy tale about Cinderella. The film is based on true events and reveals the darker side of a life that, at first glance, may seem glamorous. Each year, more and more people fall victim to these kinds of schemes, while those who organize them often go unpunished.